This should be a required video for all DBs who want to dominate. If you don't have a plan, you're already falling behind. But today, I'm going to give you an exact blueprint on how to become elite. Let's get into it. So today, guys, we're going to talk about mindset, habits, and training. So most players want to be great, but only a few actually make it. The difference? Well, the elite have a system in place. They don't just wake up and hope that they get better. No, they have a plan. So before we start talking about drills, we need to fix your mindset. We need to change the mindset of how we view ourselves. What is the mindset of an elite player? He attacks everything with purpose. So he attacks everything with purpose. So that means, right, that means you're attacking, the practice, right? You're attacking film, you're attacking the weight room, and then you're attacking things off the field too. Confidence is everything. Think about just like some of the great players that have played the cornerback position. Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman, Deion Sanders, Jalen Ramsey. They all have this word, confidence. Like their personality screams confidence. And the only way you become confident is that you attack everything with purpose. You attack the weight room, you attack the film study, you attack practice, you attack your diet. Doing that in an elite level, that breeds confidence. Okay, so now we have found out what it takes or how we need to change our mindset when we're approaching wanting to be great at the DB position. Now, some of you guys already have this, right? But some of you guys lack habits and training, especially when it's very DB specific. So, since we're defensive backs, we're corners, right? We need to master our press man coverage, because once you get into the league, yes, there's zone, but they're going to expect you to be able to lock down that number one receiver, right? So what we need to train, right? We need to train our eyes first. Our eyes and press man, right? Because it's eyes first, right? Feet, and then hand placement. We need to be able to master these specific things that require us to play defensive back. The second thing is we need a high football IQ. So we need to approach, right, film study. We need to approach film study like homework. Most of us don't too much care about like film study. I'll tell you guys a quick story. When I was in Seattle, I was around Pro Bowl players. My homeboy Shaquille, he became a Pro Bowler, but I was around Bobby Wagner as a Pro Bowler. And I would just watch him. He never knew this. He probably don't even know I was doing this, but I would always watch him and pay attention to him. Why? Because I understood that he was one of the greatest linebackers, in our generation. And what I come to find out is that he was studying film literally like every second of the day. So we would come out of practice, right? He'll go change and stuff like that. And then he will always have his iPad out, and he would always just be scrolling through his iPad. I'm like, dang, like, does he even breathe? Like, I just got out of practice and I'm hungry. And before he would go eat, he would just sit down and just kind of look at the film real quick. And then when he was at, lunch or whatever, when we was at lunch, we would go up, because lunch was on the second floor. We'd go up the second floor. And, I would get my food and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I had a good practice. And I would peep over at the other table, and he has his iPad out, and he's just sitting here just watching. So I understand now, and I want to tell you guys that we, like this part right here, that film study, is what's going to truly separate you guys, right? Because there's going to be a point where everybody's going to be good, especially the higher you climb, everybody's going to be good. But what separates you is your film study. how detailed are you when it comes to film study? It's the details that a lot of people miss. If you guys really, really study film, study formations, as a DB, you should be having all film. So let's say I'm guarding X. I should have all X's releases. So by the time Friday, or by the time Saturday, or if I'm in the NFL, by the time Sunday, I know exactly what releases he's going to give me, right? That's how detailed you should be. I know exactly where the screen is supposed to be at. I know exactly what the X likes to run. I know exactly what the Z likes to run. I know who's the screen man. I know who is the fade guy. I know who's the double move route. I know what position I know if he lines up in the slot or outside. The slot man likes to run the double move route, or the slot man likes to run the fade route. Like, that's how detailed you guys are going to need to be when it comes to film study. Don't just treat it like high school homework, right? Don't treat it like high school homework where you like, hey, I ain't really do it. No, you need to really, really harp on film study. You have a game Friday, right? After the game, you need to ask your coaches, especially if you high schoolers, you need to ask the coaches, hey, do y'all have the film already up for the next game coming up? And that's when you need to prepare, right? That's how you should attack when it comes to film study. Let's talk about lifting weights, developing your speed, developing your body, right? And of course, that's in training, so we'll just keep it right here. And you need to be able to take weightlifting very serious. One of my biggest downfalls that I'll say, it's not film study because I got that correct. One of my biggest downfalls that I look back, I wish that I took weightlifting more serious, especially in high school. So if I would have had it, because I didn't play football until my sophomore year, so I wish like I was at least lifting weights my freshman, or at least like wished I was like doing push-ups, because I was already behind the ball when it came to getting stronger. But eventually it caught up, right? You know, I was going hard in college, from junior college, and when I got to UCF. But I'm gonna tell you now, you DBs, you gonna line up with some strong receivers. Like, I was able to line up with DK in practice, and I was able, when I was with the Falcons a little bit, I lined up against Julio. You know, you got your AJ Browns, you got your Kelce's. Like, these people are strong, and you know, corners do. NFL, you guys will play against the best tight ends too, right? Not just the receivers. So you need to have strength, because strength is definitely what's going to get you there. And of course, speed. Continue to work out in speed. A lot of you guys should be running like track. So track is something that, you know, a lot of coaches like to recommend, especially in that high school, is that you run track. Because if you run track, that helps you get your speed. And then have a system of learning how to recover your body. Just don't go home and think sleep is just recover. Nah, like, invest in a ice bath, right? Invest in heating pads, invest in a massage gun, like, invest in yourself. Like, you want to become elite, right? So I'm giving you guys the blueprint on how to become elite. So last thing I want to talk to you guys about is what separates the greats from the rest. And what I found during from high school, junior college, to D1 to the NFL was consistency. That is literally what's going to separate you guys from everybody. Consistent on how you attack things, right? We attack things with purpose, which leads us to having confidence. And then we're consistent in our habits and training, right? We're consistent. We don't take any days off. We don't fake be sick and like, oh, I'm sick. No, we attack these days, and we are consistent each and every day when it comes to be elite. So if you guys truly want to be elite, you got to take these things serious. You need to train like a pro, think like a pro, and move like a pro.